Ex-girlfriend asked for open relationship, so I replaced her for younger and better. Hey, true story. What's up, brother? First off, I just want to say I've been binge watching your channel for a while now, and it feels like therapy hearing other men share their experiences. I've been through something wild myself, and I figured why not send it in? I go by Neon, and this is the story of how my ex-girlfriend asked for an open relationship, and I ended up replacing her with someone younger, better, and honestly, way more feminine than she ever was. So let me take it all the way back to the beginning. 2019. At the time, I wasn't looking for anything serious. I had just come out of a messy situation with another girl, and I told myself, Neon, just date casually, have fun, no pressure. You know, hit the apps, meet people, but don't give away your peace again. So, I downloaded Hinge, mostly out of boredom. I wasn't even putting in that much effort on there, but one night this girl pops up on my screen. She had a nice smile, seemed normal, which is rare these days, and her prompts weren't all the cliche, I love to travel, tacos, and tequila stuff. We matched, and after a couple days of small talk, she asked me out. That already caught me off guard because usually it's me who has to initiate. She suggested a restaurant downtown. I figured, why not? Now here's where things got interesting. We meet up, we vibe immediately, and when the bill came out, this woman snatched it up so quick I thought she was playing a prank. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "It's time for women to start showing. They're interested too. I'll pay for the first date, and after this, we'll split everything down the middle." Man, I was floored. I had never had a woman not only offer to pay, but insist on it. After all the nonsense I had gone through with women before, gold diggers, princess treatment or nothing, or the kind who think a man is supposed to drop 200 on a first date just for conversation, this actually made me feel good about her. It felt refreshing, like maybe I finally stumbled on a modern woman who had old school values but new school fairness. We kept dating. True to her word, every dinner, every movie, every little road trip, we split the bill. For a while, I really respected that. I thought, okay, this girl isn't here to use me. She's showing she's invested too. 6 months in, though, I started to feel the fatigue. Let me explain. At first, splitting everything 50-50 it's felt fair, but over time, it didn't feel natural. As a man, I actually like taking care of things. I like treating my woman, especially once she's mine. It started to feel less like a partnership and more like a roommate situation. Eventually, I told her, look, I got it from here. And from then on, I just started covering our dates in full. She didn't complain. Actually, she looked relieved. That's when we made it official. Boyfriend and girlfriend. Things were smooth sailing. We laughed together. We traveled. We had our routines. By year 1, I thought, okay, maybe this could be long term. We even started talking about moving in together. That's when the bomb dropped. One night, we are sitting on her couch scrolling through apartments on Zillow when out of nowhere she goes, "Can we have an open relationship?" I swear to you, true story, I thought I misheard her. I looked at her like she had 2 heads. I asked her to repeat it, and she said the same thing but with a straight face, like she was asking what I wanted for dinner. I said, hell no. What even makes you think I'd be okay with that? She started fumbling, talking about how monogamy is outdated and we're still young. We should be free to explore. I cut her off. I told her, if that's what you want, go play in traffic because I'm not your man anymore. That was it for me. The disrespect was unreal. After everything, after me stepping up, after me thinking we were building something, she wanted to open the door for other men. No, not happening. I dumped her on the spot, and that's when things got funny. A couple of days later, she starts blowing up my phone with text after text. She's begging me to take her back. She tells me she already informed her leasing office that she wasn't renewing her apartment because she thought she'd be moving in with me. Now she has nowhere to live. She writes, I don't have a place to go. Please don't do this to me. I laughed, sent her a list of local homeless shelters, and texted, good luck. She actually called me crying, screaming, this is not a freaking joke. I'm homeless. And I'll admit, I laughed on the phone and hung up. Not my problem. You wanted to explore? Go explore the streets. For a year, I didn't hear a word from her. Peaceful, beautiful. I lived my life. I dated casually again, and eventually, I ended up replacing her with someone younger, feminine, and actually grateful. Then one night, I ran into her at a bar. True story, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked horrible. Bloated face, bad skin, hair a mess. She was clearly drunk, maybe even on something harder. She stumbled over to me, started crying, couldn't even look me in the eye. She hung her head down like a dog that knows it's in trouble. Then she had the nerve to ask if she could come home with me. That's when I knew for sure I dodged a bullet. I told her no, turned my back, and left her right there. I knew better than to get tangled up again. That was my confirmation that walking away was the best thing I ever did. Now, true story, I could go deeper. Talk about the emotions I went through, the lessons I learned, how crazy it felt to see her downfall. But I already know your audience understands. When a woman asks for an open relationship, she's really saying she wants permission to monkey branch to the next guy while keeping you as backup. I wasn't having it. Instead, I upgraded my life, leveled up, and replaced her with a woman who values me. That's my story. Hope it helps some brothers out there keep their eyes open. Hey, true story. It's your boy Neon back again. I didn't think I'd write a part 2. The truth is, after everything I went through with my ex, and then some of the stuff I've seen and experienced since, I made up my mind. I'm done with dating. I'm done with marriage. I'm done with even entertaining the idea. I know that might sound extreme to some people. A lot of men still hold on to that fantasy. You meet the right girl, you date, you marry, you build a family, you live happily ever after. But I'm telling you right now, in 2025, that fantasy is just that, a fantasy. Reality looks a whole lot uglier. And I'd rather save myself the headache, the wasted time, and the potential financial ruin by just opting out altogether. So let me break it down. Why I decided to never date again. After I cut my ex loose, I did what most guys do. I got back out there. I told myself I wouldn't be bitter. I wouldn't generalize. I'd just take it slow and see what's out there. But it didn't take long to realize, brother, that the dating pool is filled with sewage. It's like everyone out here is broken, jaded, or using dating apps like Amazon Prime for human beings. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Instant gratification. Nobody's serious. Nobody's loyal. Nobody wants to actually build anything. It's all about attention, validation, and keeping options open. I went on a few dates post-breakup just to test the waters, but every single one of them showed me the same pattern. Entitlement, lack of accountability, and zero effort. One girl, I kid you not, matched with me on Bumble, and before we even met up, she texted me, I don't really like dating apps. Can we just skip to you paying my phone bill and see if we vibe later? I laughed so hard I almost dropped my phone. Blocked her right there. Another girl I actually gave a shot. We went out for drinks. The entire time she was glued to her phone, taking selfies, posting to Instagram story, barely looking me in the eye. Then when the check came, she pushed it toward me without a word. I paid just to get out of there, and she had the audacity to text me later. You seem nice, but I didn't feel a spark, but I'd be down if you want to sponsor my nails or hair. Sponsor. Like I'm some kind of walking GoFundMe. That's when it hit me. I don't even want to try anymore. Marriage. Forget about it. If dating is bad, marriage is a straight up death sentence for men these days. I've seen it firsthand with people around me. One of my closest friends, let's call him Mark, got married in 2020. At first he was on cloud 9. He thought he had it all. a wife who loved him, a nice house, a couple of pets. Fast forward 3 years. She cheats on him with a coworker. He finds out, files for divorce, and brother, the court system chewed him up and spit him out. She walked away with half his assets, the house, the car they bought together, and he's stuck paying her alimony because she gave up her career to support him. Never mind that she's the one who broke the vows. I watched this man age 10 years in 6 months. He went from being full of life to a shell of himself. And you know what his wife told him during the divorce mediation? I just wasn't happy. That's it. No accountability. Just the same tired excuse women use to justify nuking a marriage. I told myself right then, if marriage is just legalized extortion, why would I ever sign up for that? Side story, the girl who tried to hustle me. Let me share another quick story that sealed the deal for me. A buddy of mine dragged me out to a club one night. I wasn't really in the mood, but he insisted. We're at the bar, and this girl comes up to me out of nowhere. She's cute enough, but something about her energy screamed user. She leans in and says, "Hey, will you buy me and my friends a round of shots?" Now, I'm not against generosity, but let's be real. I don't know you, you don't know me, and you're already asking me to open my wallet for you and your crew? That's not flirting, that's panhandling in heels. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Nah, but I can buy myself one." She scoffed, rolled her eyes, and stormed off like I just insulted her ancestors. My buddy laughed and said, "Man, you handled that perfectly." That's when it really clicked. So many women see men as nothing more than ATMs with legs. They think our role is to provide entertainment, money, and resources while they bring the bare minimum to the table. Why would I participate in that game? Side story, the uncle who warned me. You know what else sticks with me? A conversation I had with my uncle at a family cookout. He's in his 60s, divorced twice, living on his own now. He pulled me aside, handed me a beer, and said, "Listen, nephew, don't ever get married. I don't care how good she looks, how sweet she acts. It's all temporary. When the switch flips, you're the enemy, and the system will back her up no matter what." I asked him if he regretted it, and he shook his head. He said, "My only regret is not staying single. I would have been richer, healthier, and a hell of a lot happier." That conversation stuck with me, because here's a man who's lived it twice, and he's warning me not to repeat his mistakes. The freedom of being done. So now I'm done. And honestly, I've never felt freer. No more stressing about texting someone back. No more wasting money on dates that go nowhere. No more worrying about whether my girl is loyal or if she's secretly lining up her next guy. No more walking on eggshells in my own house. I wake up when I want. I go where I want. I keep my money in my pocket. I pour my time and energy into my hobbies, my career, my friendships. If I want companionship, I'll hang out with friends, or if I really want intimacy, there are plenty of ways to get that without locking myself into a contract with the state. I've realized life is too short to gamble with something as dangerous as modern relationships. It's like walking into a casino where the house always wins. Why play a rigged game? Closing thoughts. True story. I know some guys might read this and think I'm bitter or hurt or just scared, but I promise you, I'm not. I'm liberated. Once you really accept that dating and marriage are traps for men in this era, you can finally start living for yourself. I've seen too many men lose everything chasing that happy wife, happy life nonsense. I refuse to be one of them. So my message to the brothers out there, value your time, protect your peace, and don't be afraid to walk away from the table. Sometimes the smartest move is not to play at all. That's where I'm at. Done with dating, done with marriage, and loving every second of it. I ended up running into my ex again. And brother, what she pulled this time? Unbelievable. I had to sit down and type this out while it's still fresh because I still can't believe it happened. Before I even get into the meat of this story, let me just say this. If you end up reading this one on your channel, I don't even care if people clown me for it. The way she behaved proves every single thing I've been saying about modern women and how far they can fall when they don't take accountability. Running into her again. It was a Friday night, maybe 2 weeks after I hit send on my last email. I had just finished work, and one of my buddies called me to grab a drink at a sports bar near my place. I wasn't really in the mood, but he twisted my arm, so I went. We're sitting at the bar talking about the game when I hear this loud voice behind me, a voice that sounded familiar in the worst way. I turned around, and boom, there she was, my ex. But brother, this wasn't the same girl I dated years ago. She looked worse than the last time I saw her at that bar when she was drunk and crying. Her skin looked pale, like all the color had been drained out of her. Her eyes were sunken, her hair greasy, and her whole body looked like it had been through hell. She was twitchy, moving her jaw like she couldn't sit still. I don't know much about drugs, but I've seen enough movies and I've known enough guys who slipped into addiction to recognize the signs. She was strung out on something. Meth, coke, pills. I don't know, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that she wasn't sober. The confrontation. I was hoping she wouldn't notice me, but of course she did. She made a beeline straight for me, staggering as she walked. She leaned on the bar next to me and slurred, "Neon, oh my God, I've been wanting to see you." Now, normally I'd just ignore and walk away, but I was so caught off guard that I just stared. I said, "What do you want?" That's when she started crying, loud, sloppy crying. She's grabbing my arm, trying to hug me, telling me she misses me, begging for another chance. The whole bar was staring at us. My buddy leaned back in his chair like he was watching a soap opera. Then she dropped the bomb. She told me she was homeless again and wanted to come home with me that night. I laughed in disbelief and said, "You're out of your mind. That will never happen." But she wouldn't let go. She kept saying, "I swear, I'll do better. I'll do anything. I just need a place to stay. You don't understand what it's like out here." I said, "Yeah, I do understand. You chose this path when you asked me for an open relationship. You wanted freedom. Now you got it. Don't come crawling back to me." What she tried. Here's where it gets crazy, true story. She straight up tried to slip her hand into my pocket, I guess to grab my wallet or my keys. Luckily, I caught her in the act and shoved her hand away. I said, "Are you serious right now? You're trying to rob me?" She screamed, "No, I just wanted to see if you had cash. I need help." That was it for me. I stood up, told my buddy we were leaving, and as we walked out, she collapsed on the floor screaming my name. The bartender and a bouncer had to drag her outside. It was one of the most pathetic things I've ever witnessed in my life. Confirmed. She's on drugs. Later that night, I got a text from a mutual acquaintance who had also been at the bar. He told me straight up, "Yeah, man, she's on drugs. Been hanging with the wrong crowd, selling her stuff. Couch surfing. She's gone downhill fast." That confirmed what I already suspected. This woman who once had a job, her own apartment, and a future is now strung out, homeless, and trying to scam people just to survive. And here's the kicker. She actually had the nerve to text me the next day. I don't even know how she still has my number. She wrote, "I'm sorry about last night. I just need a little money to get back on my feet. Please don't give up on me." I didn't even respond. Deleted the message immediately. Reflection. You know what's wild? Back in 2019 when I met her, I never would have predicted this outcome. She seemed so normal. She was the girl who insisted on paying for the first date. She was the girl who split bills with me. She acted like she had values, like she was different from the others. But the second she asked for that open relationship, that was the red flag of all red flags. That was the turning point where she showed her true colors. And now, a few years later, she's proof of what happens when you chase freedom instead of stability. She went from someone I thought I might build a life with to someone being dragged out of a bar by a bouncer because she tried to rob her ex. And that true story is why I keep saying dating and marriage are dead. Even the ones who look solid can crash and burn fast. Side story, my friend who tried to save a girl. Let me share a quick side story here that ties into this. One of my boys met a girl who had a drug problem. He thought he could save her. He believed all her promises. I'll quit for you. I'll go to rehab. I just need support. He spent thousands of dollars bailing her out, paying her rent, even covering her rehab. Guess what? She relapsed 3 times. She stole from him, cheated on him, and left him broke. That's the reality. You can't save people who don't want to save themselves. I learned that watching him, and I reminded myself of it when my ex tried her stunt at the bar. Where I'm at now. After this last encounter, my decision to stay single for life has been cemented in stone. I'm not entertaining anyone. I'm not dating. I'm not getting married. I've put my energy into myself. Working out, stacking money, building experiences. I've got peace, and peace is priceless. No woman is worth trading that for. And seeing my ex in the condition she's in, that was the biggest confirmation I could ever ask for. Closing thoughts. True story, I gotta ask you straight up, are you gonna read my emails? Because this part of the story is so insane, I think it needs to be shared. Not just because it's drama, but because it's a warning. A lot of guys out there are still holding on to the fantasy that they can fix or save a woman who's lost. I'm living proof that it doesn't work. My ex is on drugs. She's homeless. She's manipulative enough to try and rob me in public, and she's still delusional enough to think I'd take her back. If that doesn't show men what the game is really like out here, I don't know what will. Stay solid.